Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today I have a special guest with us. She is an author, and she is writing a book on the indie film director who's been on my show a couple of times, Guerrilla Metropolitana, director of Darius, and he also has a short film that Dell and I have seen called Corporate Torment. Whoa. Oh. I have with us Dell Gibson. Dell, welcome to the Horror Room.
Hi, thank you, Travis. Great to be here finally. We finally get to meet.
I know. By the way, the title of the book is called Searching for the Perfect Butterfly. So, Dell, tell us a little bit about this book about Guerrilla Metropolitana, the filmmaker, searching for the perfect butterfly.
Wow. Let me say it's going to be a wild ride, let me tell you that much. It's full to the brim of everything to do with Guerrilla Metropolitana, from his background right up through his filmography journey. Some very explicit illustrations, I must say. They're very well done. They're not everybody's cup of tea, I guess, but if anybody, really gets into Guerrilla Metropolitana, this is going to be a really good account of his life. And I think because he's such I don't know, just, he's so inspiring, just what he can do with such little amount of money, and a skeleton crew and guerrilla filmmaking. And if anyone knows about that, that's when you break into basically trespass on other people's properties and run away from the police and hide behind things and trying to get rid of all the evidence. There have been some pretty high profile places that they have broken into, which I will not mention. But you will see in one of them which one it is. But it's basically just an account of his life. And a lot of people don't know a lot about him. He just sort of arrived, didn't he?
Just popped out.
Yeah, and I know that you've been a really good supporter of Metropolitana, and of course he went and did a special thanks for you and I, which I thought was really great at the end. That's lovely. But this is just basically a reflection of him and his life. And yes, he's married and he's got a child and things like that people didn't know, and lots of other different things. So it's going to be, let me say, it's an unapologetic, raw, honest account of Guerrilla Metropolitana cinema in a nutshell.
So I'm looking forward to this because I am so fascinated with the guy. Like, I am so fascinated. I mean, from the first time I reached out to him, because he was talking about Darius in one of the film groups, and I was like, "Hey, you're like, come on for an interview?" He's like, "Yeah, sure. Oh my god!" And he sent me the screener over to Darius, and I watched it, and I was like, "What the fuck am I watching? Like, what is this?" I was so disturbed. And then, I was like, I am so excited to interview him because I want to pick this guy's brain. I want to see where his brain goes. And he's brutally honest. I mean, to the point where it's kind of scary a little bit. And because you don't meet that many people who just don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. They don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about them. It's a rare human being. And then I had him on for another interview, and I dive a little more into his brain. So, I mean, I'm excited to read this book because I know that he has a wife, but he doesn't talk about really his personal life, and he keeps it a secret. Which I do the same thing as a creator. Like I what's on camera this is Travis Bruce. I don't dive into my personal life, but majority of the people who I interview, once the camera's off, we talk. I'm like, hey, this is me. This is who I am. But so I kind of get that, not throwing your personal life and your family into the limelight.
Yeah. particularly because, you know, his films are quite controversial.
Yes.
Yeah. You
Yes.
either love or hate him. Seriously, there's no in between, is there, Travis? I don't know for you, but yeah, he's a rough diamond, I guess, and there's many fractured bits to him that I'm beginning to see, and it's just lovely. So we've built up a really good friendship. Just the collaboration has just been amazing. He's just so forthcoming, and he thinks he's a terrible writer, but in actual fact, he's a really good writer. He's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because obviously this is a solicited, or what do they call it, authorised one, so biography. So I get a lot of information from him every day, basically, and he's just phenomenal. Yeah, he really is. And I just wanted to show. I mean, when he asked me if I'd be willing to write a biography for him, at first I was like, oh my God, I don't know what the ramifications of this is going to be for my writing career, but at the end of the day, you know what? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He needs to be showcased. You know.
I mean,
yeah.
He's a rare find. I'm telling you, it's a rare find. Now, I mean, you're a huge supporter of Guerrilla. How did you two meet? I mean, how did you two find each other?
Wow. Funnily enough, I run a Facebook group called Horror Central, and anyway, there was a pending post in there, and it had a guy dressed up in a BDSM costume with his thingy member hanging out, and I was like, decline. And he kept sending it through, and I was like, oh bloody hell, I better have a look what this is. So I had a look, and it was like, oh my God. So I saw the trailer, and then I was like, send me the screener copy, please. That was it. I was blown out of the water. I was absolutely captivated. I've never seen anything like it to this degree of Darius. Darius was something I'd never seen before. It made me sick. It made me cringy. It also made me extremely happy to finally, after all these years, find a filmmaker who actually just does what the opposite of Hollywood does, you know. And so from there, I just went and did reviews. I did reviews of all his films on my Horror Central, and and then after all the reviews, like you've done massive reviews on him as well, which thank you, are going into the book. Yes. And from there it was just a case of him asking me if I'd do his biography, and wow, I was like, wow, really, me? Little me from New Zealand? You got all these other fantastic, but he just really appreciated the reviews I gave him, and then the rest is history, basically. So
that's awesome. What's one thing about Guerrilla Metropolitana? I don't know if you can say, what's one thing that you can say that most people don't know about him that they're going to learn about him in this book?
Well, I guess the impression from his films is that he's mad in the head, obviously. He's obviously mad in the head, right? But at the end of the day, he's actually got a huge heart. He's not a psychopath.
He's not.
He's not at all. And, you know, unless you actually get down and talk to him, you wouldn't actually realize that he's got a family. He's a loving father. He's a loving husband. He's a freaking amazing friend to have. I guess that's what's going to shine through in the book, is a different side to Metropolitana that people have never seen before. Yeah, I think that I'd say that. Yeah.
The guy definitely. So listen, I've gotten bits and pieces from him, but the guy is into some interesting sexual things. I get that vibe that anything goes with this guy when it comes to sex.
I would probably probably say yeah. After reading some of the material, yep, he's definitely, how would you say it, sexually inclined or promiscuous sort of thing. But, you know, at the end of the day, from a biographer's point of view, from me writing the biography, I obviously am not going to be judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be biased either. So him and his wife have a really, really beautiful relationship. And I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to Metropolitana finding his happiness. And it seems to be his happiness is, some of his happiness has to do with some sexually explicit sort of things and things that he does in his life. And, you know, it's not for everyone, obviously, but there are relationships out there where, you know, they each want to make each other happy. So they'll just, I guess, there's definitely there's a difference between Guerrilla Metropolitana and Chris Politana. Mm-hmm. There's a clear difference. Chris is a loving family man, blah, 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 and Guerrilla is a hardcore pain up the ass to deal with filmmaker. People have seen a side to him that, you know, is probably very dictatorial. Well, he's a very dictatorship sort of filmmaker, and he's got some very explicit ways of filming, as you've probably heard. Actually, when I first watched Darius, I thought it was a snuff film.
That's what I thought it was too. And I was like, because I've been sent those before by filmmakers, and I'm like, yeah, I can't promote this, you know, I can't promote this, and I'm like, I'm gonna get kicked off of YouTube. But like, that's what I thought it was at first, and then I started watching more and more. I was like, okay, this is artistic. This is the most artistic movie. Listen, this is the most artistic, disturbing movie I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, because it's beautiful. I think my reviewer said it's beautifully disturbing.
It is. I like that. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
That's the best way to classify it. Yeah. Now, Dale, listen, I talked a little bit about it. So, by the way, so there's a difference between, like, I agree, Guerrilla and Chris, right? There's a difference. Yeah. Guerrilla, having him on my show, which is, he's done many interviews, but I think him and I click. We have the best interviews together. And the Guerrilla on camera is a completely different person than Chris, because Chris and I talk probably once a week. You know, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. How's the family? How's it going? We talk. The nicest guy ever. And then you get him on camera. It's, I fucked this motherfucking ass and shit like that. You know, I'll fuck these bitches, you know, these feminine whores and just, and it's like, it's a completely different person.
He is, right?
Yes.
I've seen the interviews with you, Travis. They were amazing. They were really cool. It was like, oh my God, look at that dude. My best work by far. My best work by far. And I've watched his other interviews that he's done. Nowhere on the same level. Great interviews, but nowhere on the same level. I just got him so fucking relaxed. It's like you allow my guests. I get them so relaxed that they start saying shit that they normally wouldn't want to say. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Yes. Yeah. So watching your interview with him, it was like, wow, he's so different than when I'm talking to him. Yeah,
it's a completely different person.
So
I'm waiting for
arrogant.
him. I'm waiting for him to say something. I'm waiting for him to say some crazy shit. And he's just a normal guy. And he's just like, hey, what's going on? Did you watch the game or something? Like, I'm waiting for him to say something, you know, like, fuck somebody's ass this weekend or something. But no, it's none of that. It's just normal. He's a normal guy. Yep. But Guerrilla is a completely different person. It's like a mask that he puts on, and it's a completely different person.
Absolutely, isn't it? The difference is quite enormous, actually. He's One out of the box, that's for sure. Yeah,
Yes.
but I would say a lifetime friend. I've made a lifetime friend. Definitely. And his wife, she's so sweet. She's just so sweet and cute. And it's just, yeah, I loved seeing the interview with you and him. It's just, he's just so relaxed and just, God blimey. I was like, how the hell do you interview him, man?
Yes, I did it with a straight face too. I did it with a straight face too.
Yeah, it's the craziest one you've ever had on there.
Oh, wait until our third interview. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't seen it, that's in the future, because we're gonna be talking about the movie that the short film that you and I seen, which is his new piece that he has not released yet, but we got to see the screener, and it's called Corporate Torment. Del, what the fuck was that? Like, what the fuck was that?
I don't fucking know. All I know is there was a lot of sodomy involved.
Because he tagged me on Facebook, and I just accepted the tag. I didn't even notice what it was. I said, oh, Corporate Torment is a new movie. And then I went back and looked, and it's a fucking asshole on my Facebook. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't have this on my fucking Facebook. Like, what is wrong with that? Like, he is literally posting this asshole poster throughout Facebook. I'm surprised. Like, how is he getting away with that, Dale?
I know, right? And I've shared it all over my channel, all over my bloody Facebook group.
I can't do that, Dale. I can't be having men's assholes.
I'm just hoping nobody clicks onto what it actually is.
And I think it's like a volcano coming out of asshole or something.
Yeah.
And the picture, I'm like, I cannot have this on my fucking Facebook. Like, what is Guerrilla doing?
He's getting me flagged. That's what's happening. I'm getting flagged by Facebook. But hey, I'm hoping it'll last, and it'll stay on there for as long as possible. But yeah, that was a mental movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of ass fucking going in this movie. And listen, I'm not giving away. I don't want to spoil it. But there's a lot of ass fucking going in. And towards the end, there's one particular ass fucking that is so fucking it's so disturbing. My stomach was turning from watching it.
Yeah.
My stomach was literally turning from watching it.
Yeah. It's pretty horrific. And I have got no idea what the hell the benefactress is going to look like, but it's 10 times worse than Darius and corporate torment.
Oh my! Because he kept warning me about it. He goes, "It's about corporate abuse and it's about sodomy," and I'm like, "Sodomy? What the fuck does that? What does those two things have to fucking go together?" And then, oh my goodness, this is literally about both of them. It's literally about both of them. I mean, that's what the short movie is about. It's like
it is.
It's corporate America fucking their employees over, and people getting fucked in the ass. It's literally that. That's what you're going to see.
Literally, with nothing
more, nothing less. You're going to see people getting fucked up by corporate America, and people getting literally fucked in the ass. Literally fucked in the ass.
Literally, it's.
You're going to see dick and everything. It's literally getting fucked in the ass.
Oh, like, yeah.
Whoa.
God. I know. But isn't the beauty of it is that it's not pornographic, if you know what I mean? Like, it would never get accepted. No.
Anybody who gets aroused from watching that shit, I don't care what your sexuality is, you're fucking disturbed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're touched. Yeah. There's nothing. No. It's literally horror that what you're seeing. Horrific.
Yeah. It's a horror with very dark themes, dark erotic themes, and it can't be put in a box. Like, it's not a horror. It's like, it's not full on horror, and it's not a full on pornography either.
It was the scariest shit. It was the scariest shit I've seen in a while, Dale. That was fucking.
I know. Horrifying, absolutely horrifying. So, but but when you get to learn the ins and outs of, I mean, he had 3 mental breakdowns during the editing of Darius, you know, and that's probably another thing that people don't realise is that he has got mental illnesses, and you know, he has had addictions that he's had to overcome and things like that. And I think maybe being a filmmaker has brought him back to life, perhaps. It's a way for him to express himself, and like he will tell you over and over again, he's not a horror filmmaker and he's not a pornographic filmmaker, but he's both of a bit, if you know what I mean. So it's like a blend of this and that and this and that. So it's very experimental, and it's like a bloody psychedelic trip, eh? It's just like I don't know. I've given some people to have a look at the movie, and it tends to be the males that are like, "Ooh, that's fucking disgusting! You're crazy! What are you doing watching that? What do you mean you're going to write his book?" And I'm like, well, you know, you obviously don't appreciate art or cinematography or sound effects, and you know, and at the end of the day, none of his movies have dialogue.
None.
What the hell?
Like, so I was watching Corporate Torment, and there's like this, and it sounds like this professional English lady is reading like this opening scene, and I'm like, oh, this seems like something like. I'm like, this seems like, oh, he's actually making something like, I don't want to say mainstream, but normal, yes.
Yeah. Normal. Yeah, right.
And as I'm thinking it in my mind, 2 seconds later, the fucking camera starts going off, and it's just shit. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, I'm like, oh, okay. It hits you almost like Darius, right from the beginning. It just fucks with you. And you're like, what the fuck? But good trick. By the way, Guerrilla, good trick with the old English lady talking in the beginning. This is going to be a normal movie. And then it was like, nope.
No.
You're gonna see some cock balls and assholes.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
Back to back. Like,
and you know, it blew me away with Darius, you know, because it's like, he's a filmmaker showing his erect penis on a film. I've never seen that, ever. Who would have the balls to do that, you know? And he does it.
He's wearing like a little sailor's hat and some BDSM like thing. Like he is just going full on. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't like.
I know.
I don't know what to expect.
No, right? I know. I mean, it's yeah. So there's going to be a lot of illustrations in the book. And he has sent them to me, so yeah, I'll just say that it's probably going to come wrapped in cellophane with a RRRRR18 on it, just like American Psycho, I think. Especially when you see what the cover's going to look like, it's going to have a butterfly on it.
By the way, for my audience, don't stop it. You make me laugh. Listen, for my audience, please tell them what the search is. Stop. Please tell them what the title "Searching for the Perfect Butterfly" means. I know what it means, but I don't know.
Oh dear, good one. Put me on the spot.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say it. You can.
Okay, so who's a perfect butterfly? How can I say this without getting your channel flagged?
No, just go ahead and say it. Just go ahead and say it though.
Okay, so Guerrilla has been looking for the perfect butterfly, which is a sticking out clitoris, and basically a vagina that looks like a butterfly. Believe it or not, it's true. And I've got the picture to prove it.
Oh, so he found her?
Yeah, he found her.
Okay.
He found the perfect butterfly.
Now, okay, is this an actress that he was looking for, or a woman to be with?
No, he was looking for the best looking vagina, and his version of that is what will be in the book.
Okay.
And basically, on the cover will be that perfect looking butterfly, which is going to be quite graphic. Not sure if we'll be allowed to do it, but I'm going to try anyway. Yeah, because it seems that during his filmography, he's been looking for the perfect butterfly, and he found it. Finally found it. So I guess that's what all of this has got to do with, is him looking for perfection, I guess, and something that's not like women always, they have the same anatomies, obviously, but this lady's anatomy is done a lot different than others, so it's pretty graphic.
It looks a lot different than others?
Yeah, like I've never seen one like this before in my life. Like,
hold on. Well, what are we talking about, though?
No, I can't.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the vagina.
No, but I'm talking about why does it look different than anyone else's?
It looks different because it looks like a fucking butterfly. Okay.
I'm trying to think. Listen, I'm gonna sound like I'm a fucking whore in there. I've seen quite a few vaginas for it. Like so it looks like a butterfly. What does that even look like?
I will send you something on Messenger and you can have a look. Be like, oh my god, okay, then you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, I'll do that right after the
the comments. They're going to be like, "Are you going to share this video? And are you going to put that picture in the video?" No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that and get kicked off of YouTube. No, we're not to that point yet.
No. And I won't share it. I'll share it with you privately.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what this perfect vagina looks like.
Yeah, you'll be shocked. For him, it's perfect, so I don't know. I'm just the puppeteer writing the book.
It's kind of fascinating that he decided to choose a woman to write his book, because Guerrilla doesn't have, I'm not saying he hates women, but he doesn't think too fondly of a huge percentage of women.
Oh, I think you might have that wrong.
Well, I should say he definitely doesn't like the feminist women.
No, he does not. No, I wouldn't.
And I should have to say something, because I live in the States, and that's 50% of women in this country are feminists or women rights, and he definitely feels some kind of way about those type of women.
Yeah. It would. Okay, from watching his films, one would kind of come to the conclusion that he has some sort of animosity or hatred towards women. But in actual fact, it's the opposite way around. He loves women. He loves them, and he wants to showcase their vulnerabilities, that they get abused, that they are treated like shit. So even though it looks like he's against them, he's actually 100% for them. But when it comes to getting on the bandwagon of the LGBTQ plus communities that sometimes go above, they go overboard a little bit. The bandwagons, feminism and all that corporal shit, all that sort of stuff. I guess he's got hatred for that. And so that's why he makes these as deep and dark films and feature films and short horror films and stuff, to showcase the vulnerability of women, and that sometimes they are led in the wrong direction. Say like Hillary Rice in Corporate Torment that burns like hell. She's used as a metaphor for women getting in high positions and having to be all powerful and stepping on people's toes and firing people at the drop of a hat because they are the power. They're control freaks. They've got the power tripping. And then we get it turned around and we see her getting, doing what she was basically doing to Rudolph. The main actor.
But you don't think
she shafted him, right?
But you don't think. But Del, you don't think that feminist women are going to see this movie and be like, "Whoa, this guy hates fucking women in power. Like, he does not see women as equals, because when a woman is in power as equal, this is what's going to happen to her."
I absolutely hear what you're saying. Yeah, there will be not just feminists that are going to hate everything, all the films, all of them. Feminist groups, horror writers, sensitivity readers. Definitely, there's objectionable content in his movies. We're talking about incest, rape, all of the nasties.
Pedophilia,
yeah, all of that. He doesn't leave anything out. He basically reaches in, grabs it, and just wrecks it, and then splash, there's your film, and it's just like, yeah, he's just filmmaker. I can't even. I've been trying to compare him to other people in my reviews, but there's no comparison. I can't compare him. So he's just he loves women. Trust me, he does. He loves women, and I'm sure he could seduce any woman.
He's a smooth guy. He's a smooth. I could see that he loves women, but I also think that, because we had a discussion about PC culture, and on my show, and he was saying that he doesn't like anything that's radical. So he doesn't like radical feminists. Like, even when it comes to, hiring actresses for his show, he doesn't want a woman that has, oh, I'm a feminist, I have my own opinions and this and that. He wants a woman that's going to follow him as director, So anytime a woman comes on set and starts talking anything about feminists, or like, oh, I have my own views, my own opinions and this and that, he's like, get the fuck out. I don't want you.
Yep. Absolutely. He's a very hard player when it comes to picking actresses.
Yes.
I think basically they have to submit in a way to his vision, and say out of 100 actresses there might be 2 who are willing to, and then when they arrive on set they might turn around and go, no way, I'm not doing a nude shot, and it's not just a nude shot, is it? There's a few more things going on in the background which will come out in the book. Okay, and then we might have a few people who have a thing to say or two about it. So the thing is, he's a visionary. He's got a clear vision, which I have to do in my writing as well. You've got to stay focused, and you've got to have a clear vision, because if you don't know what's going to happen, what the outcome's going to be. And basically, he sees it all in his head, what he wants, which angles, what shots, what colours, and all that sort of stuff. He's very, very focused. Yeah, he is, and unfortunately a few people have probably been let down, well, not let down, but disappointed that they weren't chosen to be in the film, because they had their own ideas, like you said, and they have their own opinions, and they don't want to submit, and I think that's fair enough as well. Definitely, because you don't know what you're getting into when it comes to Guerrilla, Metropolitana. When it comes to filming, you have no idea.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine like being an actor on a set, because you really don't know what you're walking into. You have to go with whatever his vision is,
which is very controversial, and it's not very. How do you say it? It's not how a normal filmmaker would film, obviously, because there's criteria, there's rules, there's stringent standards, and all that sort of stuff. and he just blows it out of the water. He doesn't care. No contracts, no nothing. If you want to do this film, that's great. If you want to, be in it, you have to do all of this sort of stuff. And there, as we have seen in his films, there are plenty of women out there who can do it, and they've done it, and they still maintain a relationship of some sort with him, and so people can gravitate to him quite easily because he is a smooth talker. Mm-hmm. But he's also very honest as well. So the thing is, you get what you see with him. He's no bullshit. He'll tell you the truth. He's not the sort of person that would lie, because he's so honest. He's just does not give a shit, and he's getting away with it. And then he's going to finish The Benefactress, and then that's him. He's gone. He's out of here.
Yes,
we won't see him again.
Yeah, because I said it in our last interview. 99% of people are full of shit. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because 99% of people make this comment, and I'm never one of these people that make this comment. But 99% of people make this fucking comment. And they say, "I don't give a fuck what people think about me." Blah 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 blah, which is absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Everybody, 99% of people give a fuck what people think about them.
Yep.
Because if you didn't, you'd be doing the shit that Guerrilla's doing in his fucking movies. Like, you would, especially, I'm a man, you know what I mean? I'm not doing half of the fucking shit he's doing because I care about what people think about me.
Yeah.
I am not going to post this vagina picture on my social media. I care about what people think about me. As soon as I saw that his poster was a butthole, I was like, with a volcano coming out, I was like, I can't have this on my social media. I care about what people think of me. Guerrilla is that 1% of people in this world who literally, when they say they don't give a fuck what people think about him, I believe him.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe him. And that's a real fucking person. When you find that 1% that really doesn't give a fuck, you're dealing with a real fucking human being at that point.
Yeah. I've never met anyone like him. Never.
You're dealing with someone on another fucking level that you will never see again. And he doesn't give a fuck what no one thinks about him.
No, he's just going to blaze in and he's going to blaze back out again. Yeah. Yep. And he's going to leave a lot of people wondering, what the hell did I just watch? But at the end of the day, you either get it or you don't. You know what I mean? There's a lot of subliminal stuff in his films and all that sort of thing. And I guess it's for thinkers. The normal horror popcorn fan person's just not going to get it. It's going to go straight over their heads. It's going to be like, this is disgusting pornography. No.
Majority of people, majority of film watchers are not going to understand his movies. No. Majority.
So I'm hoping that the book is going to, when he disappears, I'm still going to be in contact with him, obviously, because of the book. So if there's any publishers out there who are willing to tackle this, give me a call. Hopefully this will just let people see the other side of him, than the filmmaker. Because everybody just sees the filmmaker and they don't see the person. And that person is a very loving, as you know, he's a very kind. He's also would give you the clothes off his back. If you were freezing, I know he would do that, just this hopefully will be the legacy to leave behind for him. That's the reason I'm doing it. I've been asked before to do biographies in the past, and I haven't been, it's just not a road because I'm a horror writer. I just write paranormal, dark horror. And then I started getting into reviews, and I've been doing that for about 3 years now on another podcast. And so basically, when he turned up, it's like my whole world changed. I started reviewing live on, doing videos and stuff like that, which I don't do on my YouTube channel. I've also managed to, some of his friends are actually friends of mine now, like Carol, a very good friend of his.
Love Carol Parks.
Carol Parks,
Shout out.
yeah. So she's lovely, and she loves him to bits, you know. And these are really vulnerable women. I think we gravitate to him because as a maternal sort of, because he looks so young.
And he has a lot of he has a lot of women followers. Like, he has a lot of women who are, I want to say, his cheerleaders. Like, I see, you know, his posts, and he has tons of women like, yay, like, and like, he has a huge woman fan base, which I'm shocked when I see his movies. I'm like, interesting.
I know, but you know what it is? It's the fact that he is showing us women and portraying us in a way that we actually feel that way, you know, and he's cottoned on to that, and he's run with it, and he's like, so all us women are like, oh my God, he gets us, you know, he gets us. I'm trying so hard not to get you flagged, Travis, but
go ahead.
He, you know, the rape scenes and stuff like that. Thus, I mean, the screaming of Isla Argento, I can't remember her name. Isla, anyway, the main character, and Darius, the not the older woman, but the mum of the yeah. So, you know, we get to see the fractured emotional rift that's happening in the family. We get to see how the women act after the death of the child, and all of that is so raw that he's captured it and he's put it in the film. And it's like, you know, a lot of filmmakers out there don't want to go too deep and intense as he has with these emotions and the screaming and the pain and the agony and the facial expressions and that. You know, that's what women feel like inside. That's how we feel. And to see it on screen, I guess it's like, oh my God, here's this guy who actually gets us, you know. He gets us from a different point of view, and he's showing that, you know, this is how ugly rape is. This is how disgustingly horrible incest is. This is what pedophiles do, assholes. You know, it's just all of that combined to put into a film, and that's what he's done. I guess that's why women gravitate to him, and like I said, the maternal thing as well. I mean, he's probably about 7 years younger than me or something, and I feel like he's a lot younger, but that's part of his personality, is he's very childlike as well, but he's very staunch as well. So it's kind of like, well, he's a bit of everything, I guess. And I think that's why men hate him. I don't know why. You're like one of his main supporters, I think, when it comes to men, because men don't like it. They hated Darius, and some did actually. I did give it to somebody to look at and review. My dear friend Colin, who slammed the shit out of Guerrilla, but that was just one example of a man, you know, not liking the film. And then you see all these hundreds of women who are like, yes, you know, this is awesome.
But here's the thing that I'm gonna say, and it's probably gonna piss a lot of men, filmmakers, and horror fans off. I don't feel like the average man who's a horror fan is that. I'm trying to watch what I'm gonna say, so I don't fucking insult anybody. I don't feel like their idea of horror is very cut and paste and elementary. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think most men can do elevated psychological artistic horror. And like, if it doesn't have slashing guts and blood and this and that, that is man horror. I think that's the majority of men horror, because I recently did like a thing about talking about Saltburn. I don't know if you saw Saltburn, but it's an elevated mental horror, and men, horror fans, men hate that fucking movie. oh, that's not no horror. Nobody's head got cut off or anything. But like, you don't have to have somebody's fucking head get cut off in order for it to be horror and still be disturbing, you know. And like, I think that like women don't. I think women get disturbed by the psychological aspect of horror. Men get the stimulation from horror from visual.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're I think you're damn right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I never actually looked at it that way. But you're right.
Yes. Men like shit like Terrifier or somebody's head getting cut off, blood and this and women like more like something like a Silence of the Lamb or something like that, where it's a psychological horror, where it terrifies them mentally, not visually.
Yes, I think exactly right. Yeah, there is a clear difference, isn't there, between what men want in horror and what women want in horror or expect to see. Yeah. It's a good way to put it, actually. Men horror.
Yes.
Horror's on a spectrum, and the women tend to like the psychological type of horrors, and you're right. Yeah,
because like women like Scream. Yeah, because women like Scream, for instance, especially like the newer Screams, because you got two sisters, they're dealing with trauma and this and that, and you see the sister bonds and they're having girl talk, and blah, 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 blah. And then there's killing involved in it, right?
Yeah.
But there's that, oh my goodness, I'm dealing with trauma. You have to have that to get women's attention. Men hate the new Screams. Most men hate the new Screams. I actually like them, but they're okay. But most men hate the new Screams because it doesn't have enough of the visceral, the sinister, the malice. It's too much.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's what.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how to explain it to say it
I
without
know
sounding
exactly
offensive.
what you mean. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
but that's the difference between men and women horror. I'm not saying that women do not like the gore and all that stuff too, but I like a movie like Darius. I understand why more women would like, which is weird too. But I understand why more women would like that movie than men, because men need a whole bunch of blood and guts. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas Darius is very relatable to somebody, say, who's lost a child. I guess you wouldn't at all act the way this family acts, but you can see how the fractured emotional, dynamics of the family would interest a woman to watch, whereas men don't tend to like that sort of dialogue or that sort of concept. They want to see the blood and the guts and which is clearly in the film, but not enough of it because.
I feel also too with Darius. I'm breaking down Darius a lot too, but I'm breaking it down too because I'm bouncing off what you're saying. If you think about it though, Darius deals with some twisted fucking shit that the average man is unrelatable. The average man doesn't know anything about rape or doesn't have the fear of being raped. The average man doesn't have the fear or never been in the situation with, a pedophile or an older person when they're younger. The average woman has been 12, 13 years old and had a 25, 27-year-old guy trying to get in their penis. Yep. So the average woman has dealt with that. Average man doesn't know what that concept is. No. Is unfamiliar, there's
men don't want to look at it like that. They don't want to see it in themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Like, I'm terrified to get raped. Listen, I'm talking about from a man. Like, that is something, that's why I've never ever, like, you ask me, one of my biggest fears is going to prison or jail. I don't want to get raped. I would kill myself. Like, that's something that is so absolutely terrifying. And that's coming from me as a man.
Wow.
So I can imagine as a woman, that's also I can relate to that. Now, as me relating to, I was 13 years old and some hot 27-year-old wanted to get my pants, I would have been happy with that because nobody was getting my pants while I was that age in high school. So, like, I can't relate to that. You know, I can't relate to a 14-year-old girl and 30-year-old men are trying to get in her pants. I can't relate to that. But I understand from every woman I've ever had a relationship with in my whole entire life, up until even has had a story where they were definitely sexually active at a young age with a man who was a grown man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing. I mean, once you hear those stories, you realize that there's a lot more men who are pedophiles than you know they are. But they don't get labeled because they never get caught because
they never get caught.
Because the girl doesn't see nothing wrong with it because if she's with an older man.
Yeah, exactly right. There's lots of issues that it brings up, and I think that's why women can handle it a little bit better, possibly because we do have that fear. We have thought about it. We have been in positions where we've had to bail or jump in a cab to run away from somebody. You know, I've had experiences. I was kidnapped in Australia when I went on holiday. You know, you don't even think that. You know, I'm a lot more mindful now. I think what's also happening is there's a lot of true crime stuff that's coming out on YouTube and all that sort of stuff, and women are loving it. They love the true crime because it's relatable as well. And I don't know one single woman who has not had something happen to them when they've been out at the nightclub or on their way home. You know, I don't know a single person who hasn't had something like that happen to them. I've also known men who have been abused by family members as well. So, you know, it is very relatable. It's something that we don't like to talk about. That's the beauty about what he's doing with his films is he's bringing out taboos that people don't want to talk about.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, and it's just like it's there and it's raw and it's in your face and it's just like, oh my God, you know, and sometimes it takes you back to that moment as well. And then you realize, holy shit, this filmmaker gets it. And what? He's a male? He's a male and he gets it. It's like, you know, I'm not against men. I love men and I love women. So it's like, you know, it's like a breath of fresh air. That's what he is. He's a breath of fresh air.
Because I understood, because even Torper comment, I understood as a man the overall concept of that movie. Yeah. Because as a man, I've been put in that situation, which I'm not going to talk about because I don't want to get canceled and lose a bunch of women subscribers. But I've been put into that situation. And I feel like a lot of women have been put in that situation too, with a certain type of boss. And that certain type of group, once they get in power, not all of them, but some of them are worse than any man boss you ever have. Yeah. They're worse than any man boss you would ever fucking have. Like, and they will make your life a living fucking hell.
Everybody will know Hillary Rice. Yeah. Everybody would have worked with a Hillary Rice somewhere along the line and just, you've had to leave. I've had to leave jobs because I've seen women in high places where they possibly shouldn't be and coming down the line and they're just like treating the rest, everybody else is like dog meat. We're just pieces of shit to them, you know, and it's like, well, that's funny because the man that was working before you, he was really nice. And you're just an absolute atrocious cow, you know, and it's like, then they get a grudge and then they start, you know, pushing you out of your job. So he nailed it. He nailed it.
I was like, I get that because mine was a Kim. Her name was Kim. And that was mine. I was like, I know fucking who that character is. Yes, I get it. I got it. All right. Del, where can everyone find you?
Well, you can find me on Horror Central on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube, where I do writing tips and horror reviews under Del Gibson New Zealand, or NZ. And I've also got a writers group, Del Gibson's writing group on Facebook as well. So I do a lot of Facebook stuff and YouTube YouTube reviews, so horror reviews. So yeah, you can find me there. Yeah.
Listen, go down in the description and follow her YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button and check out her work. Also, go ahead and follow her on Facebook as well. Dale, this has been an absolute blast having you on.
Yes, thank you for having me, Travis.
Yes, this was a fun conversation. I'm pretty sure this video is going to last about a week, and then YouTube's going to take it off. But listen, so everybody, please watch this video in a week because it might not be here for that long.
Yeah, maybe just need to hurry up. Watch it. Thanks, Guerrilla Metropolitana.
yes, Guerrilla. Thank you. Listen, everybody, go out there and also to grab your copy of Darius.
Yes.
It's beautifully disturbing.
Beautifully disturbing.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Dale Gibson. We'll see you next time. Take care.